Now I think I'm averaging 100,000 or 150,000 more a year each year. So the growth is there. And I think that really helps keep our business new, fresh, and innovative.
Hey, welcome to the Beauty Biz Pro podcast. I'm Jake Randolph and I'm joined by Aleece today. I actually met her through a Facebook group and she was doing some amazing numbers with her med spa. And so I wanted to bring her on and get some tips and advice. And, that way we can provide some value to all of you. So Aleece, can you tell us a little bit about how you got started in the beauty industry and what you do?
Of course. We're based out in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and I started Esthetics roughly around 8 years ago, worked for a few different places, kind of figured out like what I like to do in the aesthetics business and things like that. I had an opportunity to buy someone's business, but I did pass on that. And then kind of started that whole thing of maybe I can do this by myself. Back in February of 19, we decided to open my business. And my now husband and I really sat back and tried to figure out what we wanted to do. And he didn't want me to be like most of these other companies out there that are just so money hungry and out there to scam people and things like that. This is a passion of mine. So our goal was to make it where it's a hobby that makes me money. I started off just myself, a few renters, a few friends going in with me. I was the only one doing aesthetics. And from there, I've grown the business every single year to where now we have 2 employees and we're about to need another esthetician, at least part-time, and a front desk person as well, because we are beyond busy. My hours are roughly around 7 to 7, and that's almost 6 days a week. On Saturdays, I get out there maybe 3 to 4 o'clock, but we're solid booked. And I believe that it's because of all the knowledge that we have, the training that I do, and things like that. We decided to do memberships probably about a year ago now, or maybe a little bit more than that. And since then, it's been word of mouth, Instagram ads, things like that, keeping our business growing and keeping us busy because our results are unlike any others in the area. When we're doing this, word of mouth has been great for us for growth. And then we just keep adding new services, and we're kind of altering the membership as we go. I think that helps a lot as well. Ideally, our growth in this area has been a little astonishing. I didn't think that we would grow as fast as we have, but now I think I'm averaging 100,000 or 150,000 more a year each year. So the growth is there, and I think that really helps keep our business new, fresh, and innovative.
That's awesome. So if I remember correctly, last year you said you did about 500K in revenue?
Yes, we did. This year, we've been beating even the numbers from last year. I like to keep up with my numbers, but I don't make it a point to only focus on numbers. Mm-hmm. I feel like there's so many small business owners out there where we get it in our heads that if we don't do this, we're going to fail and the business is going to plummet and all this other stuff. I don't think it needs to be a main focus. I think your clients and what you're doing needs to be a main focus. Yes, you need to get money through the door, but you need to be worrying more about your clientele than the money. The money will come. And that's what I've learned is if you know how to really focus on getting clientele in, new clients in, word of mouth, and growing your business that way, the money's going to come either way it goes. But in those forums that we're a part of, I see a lot of people all the time who are like, oh, I'm strict on my clients and cancellation policy this, charging people for this, and oh my God, this person couldn't afford to have this done. And I'm like, show people some grace. Mm-hmm. You'd be surprised at the word of mouth you can get from someone you just treat kindly in this industry, because we're not just estheticians. We are people's therapists. We are there for every pregnancy, every miscarriage, every wedding, every divorce. We're there in their life so frequently that I feel like that's how my business has grown, because I'm friends with everybody that comes in there. I want to know about their lives. I want to know how things are going with them. And it's not just about skincare and, okay, well, how much money can you give me today?
Exactly.
The new estheticians out there, that's my goal, is don't be so focused on the aesthetic side of it and the money side of it. The money's going to come. My first year, it was a small year, but it was still very, very well off for like financial reasons. And I didn't think I'd do that in my first year and target different groups of people while still spending the money efficiently. It's gonna come back to you. Let's face it, I've done magazines, I've done sponsorships and things like that. I've sponsored pageants, I've sponsored several like sororities. So I've sponsored several sororities and things like that. I've done a lot of marketing that wasn't social media. It always comes back to, how'd you hear about us? It's either going to be Instagram or word of mouth. When I started hearing more and more of that, I dropped all the magazine ads and things like that, because they're not going to do me any good. They're not going to really bring the money back. We're all on social media these days. It's all about influencers. I've partnered with a few influencers in the area kind of organically. I didn't even reach out to them. It was one of those things where we organically met and we were talking about it, and it was like, you know what, this is great for business. Let's do this. Let's work together. You know, they would run collaborated ads and stuff like that. So I'm getting the word out there without having to spend a ton of money on magazines and a ton of money that's wasted for no reason that isn't going to give me any return.
Yep, exactly. And I love that you say that, because this is exactly what I teach my clients is you got to acquire new customers, but when you acquire new customers, you have to treat them as a relationship, not a transaction. It sounds like
Correct.
That's exactly what you're doing.
Correct. And in the aesthetics industry, my main focus, I do a lot of acne. I do a lot of anti-aging. I have people who cry on my table just from the results that we're getting and because they're so happy and they never thought they could be this way. This is something that's very important, especially in this day and age with social media being the way it is. Everyone judges how they look. And especially now, aesthetics is booming because of it, which is great. But also, I want to teach my clients that perfect isn't always attainable. And perfect is sometimes photoshopped and airbrushed and all these things. And you are who you are. And I want you to be happy with your skin and the results that we're getting without having you beat yourself up because you have a pimple for a week. You know, everyone gets them. I get them. You get them. Everyone's going to have one every now and then. And that's my biggest thing, is making sure my clients have attainable goals while realizing that not everyone's the picture perfect thing that you see is not picture perfect.
You said something that caught my attention, because I've seen this mentioned on Facebook groups a few times, but you said memberships. Can you explain what your membership is?
This is kind of a funny story how that started. I started my membership, and I don't know if you're familiar with Diamond Glow. So we offer the Diamond Glow facial, and it's priced right now, I think at $190. I started the membership and I told clients they would get 2 facials a month, a Diamond Glow included, and I started it at $125. And that's monthly, so it comes out every single month. I made it very easy to say yes to that. It's like I tried it out at $125 for a while. I had never started a membership before. I didn't know what I was doing. Tried that out. A ton of people jumped on it, told their friends about it, and their friends came in. So after I sold a certain amount of $125, which those people are still grandfathered into that price today, and the membership is now $250, about to go up to $300.
Wow.
I have people who are going to stay on the membership for life just because of what they got on at the price for. And I started it with just 2 facials a month, and that got all the way up. I think it was $200 before I added another one. And then I added one for micro needling and then chemical peels as well. Well, now we have a laser. And I just got the Laser Genesis, obsessed with it and everything it does. We decided to add another one for that. And now we have 3 different active memberships, but also I work with all of my clients. So something that I try to tell other estheticians that I'm trying to help and things like that, because I do have a few girls who've reached out to me who want help in the industry. And I definitely don't mind help. Like eventually I'd love to do some types of business coaching and things like that. But like I told the girls who have reached out to me, you need to make it very easy to say yes to. I have packages. I have pay as you go. We have memberships. I have some girls who can't afford much because they're either single moms, disability, things like that. There's so many things that people are going through in their lives that not everyone can afford to come in and get $100 service. So I even am able to offer like budgeted facials. Okay, you want to come in for a facial, how much, what's your budget? What can you do comfortably today? And I just designed something based off of that. So the memberships are for, we started it off as brides, you know, acne. Now it's transitioned to where I have over 80 active membership, and those people are coming in every 2 weeks, sometimes every 3 times a month, depending on the type of membership that they have. Because now that we have the ones with micro needling and stuff like that, they come in for follow-ups, they still get 2 facials, but I mean, people are seeing the results. That's where you're going to get the word of mouth from. People are looking at my clients right now and they're like, oh, what's going on with your skin? Why is it looking so good?
Yeah, and once those people get used to coming in every 2 weeks, they also start thinking of you as the sole provider for all beauty services. And now they,
Correct.
correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm assuming they buy more services besides just their packages.
Correct. We offer a lot. We offer spray tans, sugaring, waxing, lash services. I have a renter who rents out doing lash extensions. We have a nurse practitioner who's doing a few things in there as well, like hormones, balancing, weight loss therapy, things like that. And then I've also partnered with some injectors in the area, and we refer clients to one another because they're not offering aesthetics and I'm not really focused on injectables. My doctor, he only comes in about once a month. So my med director is not in there often. He's over a bunch of different places. So I wanted to find someone local that I would trust my clients with. We started doing the referring people back and forth. So that works out really well for us too. But I met someone at a convention recently, and she does injectables in-house. She does IV therapy in-house. She does everything I do and still a little bit more. And I think she has close to 10 employees or more right now. Dude, they're crushing it. You know, it's all about what are you able to offer for your clients? Because if we go back to the marketing standpoint, I have ads running for spray tans. I have ads running for lash services. I have ads running for facials. I have ads running for acne consultations. And here's the deal. My face and my business is being seen everywhere.
Yep.
So it's not just one ad going at a time. I want people to be like, dang, I keep seeing this. What is this about? And that's where you're going to get your change from. It's not going to just fall into your lap. That's what I try to tell other estheticians is get you a good marketing person, get someone who's there to help you, and find someone who knows social media. I'm learning how to read analytics about it and everything else, but it is, y'all have a special place in this field because we know skin. Y'all know the social media. And that's where it really, like, when we combine the two and have a good team, I feel like that's what helps.
And I mean, it's great that you learn enough to be empowered and know what you're doing overall, but especially now with AI and the way social media changes, it's changing every single month, if not day. And so it's a full-time job just to keep up with the social media analytics and all that.
Oh yeah, 100%. I remember before I had hired Aleece, right before my business really took off, I mean, like exploded. I had someone hired for social media. It ended up not working. And I mean, this is like years and years ago when I had first opened. So it just wasn't working. We weren't able to get the content that I wanted, everything else. And I remember when I decided to take it over on my own was the moment I regretted that decision immensely, but it also worked out well because I was able to manage what I was doing. And I didn't have to worry about who wasn't doing what I needed them to do or why we weren't getting the return on the social media the way we were. But I woke up at 4 a.m. every morning, created ads until about 7:30, went to work, worked a 10-ish hour shift, came home, went to bed, woke up at 4 a.m. again. And it was exhausting. And I had been working with a few different social media managers and things like that over the years. And I've had 2 that worked out really, really great. But getting someone who knows what they are talking about and knows what the analytics are. My thing is like everyone can say, yeah, I can create an ad for you. How do I run it? What is the target market here? And I feel like that's where your service really comes into play. And so do a bunch of other people's services come into play is y'all know that part. We don't have to worry about the whys, hows, and ifs. Because, I mean, let's face it, when you get too busy to take over social media, you don't want the business to just fall off eventually or become stagnant. You want to maintain growth. That's the goal as a business owner, is to keep growing. And if you don't have help with that, you're not going to grow. You're only going to stay stagnant. And that's with all aspects of the business.
And I've seen that over the years so many times where people, they'll hustle and hustle just like you mentioned, but then there gets to a point where you're so booked up and you get so tired, you start letting all the other things like the marketing, the follow-up, the sales go down. And so the business was on a good trajectory. Now it's starting to either be stagnant or go down.
I think that's a problem a lot is like, I was trying to be one woman show for a very long time and I I did, but it got exhausting. And now it's like, okay, I need a team. If I never thought I was going to build something to be of this magnitude. And now looking at it, it's like every year I'm like, I can't keep going the way I'm going. I need more help. And now we're looking at this year alone, we're probably going to have at least 200,000 in growth this year. So that's because I now have people who are on staff able to get more clients through the door. They have their own clients. We have our membership clients. But ideally, now that's my main focus is how do I keep this momentum? How do I keep it going? Because I don't want to remain stagnant. I want to be able to offer more for people all the time. So in order to do that, you have to make more money to get more equipment in and things like that and more employees. And I feel like social media helps a lot with that because not only do I have people reaching out now who want to work with me and stuff and work for the company that we've created, but now we have tons of word of mouth. It's, oh, well, did you see this girl? They're doing this over there. Let's go check it out. And then open houses. And it's all about your content though. It's plain and simple. Content is what's going to get you more people in. And I'm not talking about content on the girls who are dang near perfect and things like that. You need the older ladies. You need the acne clients. You need everybody to show that you are diverse and you can do everything.
And I think the biggest misconception is, because I see this on Facebook groups all the time, like, yeah, word of mouth is so great. But then what they don't realize is what you just said is like word of mouth comes after people see you somewhere. They see you on Instagram, they see your content, then they tell their friends. You can't have word of mouth if nobody knows who you are.
Correct. And in my opinion, if you're going to be an esthetician who wants a ton of word of mouth, have a referral program, have something to where you're giving your clients some type of incentives. I've given incentives before for reviews. I've given them for referrals. My goal is I want my clients to feel like they have to, like they want to tell people about us. They want to send their friends here. So anytime anyone asks me to donate a gift card or anything, yes, I'm donating. What do you need? I would rather give away, say you give away like 20 donations of facials and 10 people come in. Okay, that's 10 new people through the door. And then if they rebook or 5 get memberships, you're good. You know what I'm saying? It's not just about, oh, I do aesthetics, come see me and get a facial. It's how do you retain that? Retention is a big, big part of how I'm able to keep making the money that I'm making in the business. I mean, at 6 years, I never thought I would have been able to attain what I'm attaining now. I thought maybe by year 10 or something, maybe if I was lucky. And if you look at the numbers that I was bringing in before I had employees, it's still astonishing. And then now it's just so much trajectory and forward motion that I have my team. We have social media that's doing exactly what I needed to do and working for us and not against us. And then we have my team who's so well trained and we consult on everybody. It doesn't matter if it's my client, her client, another person's client. They're our clients. I treat it as a whole. So I think that really helps us too.
Yeah, for sure. And if you could go back to yourself 6 years ago when you were first starting and you only had 2 minutes, what would you say? What would you tell yourself as far as like, how to retain clients, how to get more clients?
Don't stop, don't give up, and try everything until something sticks. It's not cut and dry for everybody. Everybody has a different way of doing things and something different is going to work for everybody. And let's face it, the aesthetics community is massive right now. So we all have enough clients to go around. Everyone has enough knowledge to go around. And if you create partnerships, it's going to work. Find your friends in the industry. Don't just worry about, oh, I'm alone. You're never alone.
Right. We always teach the 80-20 rule because 20% of business owners do 80% of the business in their cities. And so I'm assuming you're part of that 20%, or you are the 20%.
I feel like it.
Yeah. So if they want to follow you and see what kind of content you're posting and just, see your Instagram, what's the best place to do that?
Inspired Skincare BR is our Instagram. And then I think the Facebook is Inspired Skincare or Inspired Skincare BR, one of those. I've also had a few girls want to reach out to me with questions and things like that about how we're able to do what we're doing, or like, where did I get training at and things like that, especially for like hormonal acne and stuff. And everyone who wants to talk can either send me an email or a DM on Instagram and stuff like that. I'm pretty quick at getting back with everybody. But, I'm here to help. That's my goal. Is I'm helping about 3 estheticians in Baton Rouge now grow their books and grow their business and their baby businesses. Well, how do you do it? And that's my goal, is helping other people figure out what works for them. I enjoy it.
That's awesome. Well, we have a free community called the Beauty Growth Community. Put a link below, but I'd love to have you there as a guest speaker too.
Yes.
So I'd love to dive into more tactics and stuff like that. So if you're watching the YouTube video and you'd love to have her on a guest speaker in our community, let me know in the comments. If we get enough comments, we'll do it.
That'd be fun.
Well, I appreciate all the tips, and, congrats on your success. I can definitely, I'd love to do a part 2 podcast one day, because I can definitely tell there's a lot more things we could dive into, but I think this was very helpful. I love the insights and the way you're getting people in and creating those repeat loyal, I call them raving fans. I'm assuming you have a lot of raving fans in your area. So yeah, congrats to everything, and I'm sure you're going to keep crushing it.
Thank you so much. And it was so much fun talking with you today. I can't wait. Definitely, let's do some more stuff. Let's have fun.
For sure.